Super GT has decided to drag Nick and I to a track walk, kicking and screaming. They call us professionals, but track walks are not our thing. Strategy. Well,
Drive fast, don't crash.
what are we doing now?
Right now,
Yes.
making a video.
All right. Okay, so what we're actually doing is, this is practice now. There's like 35 minutes. Alvarez, the pro, Super GT, he's going to do the big laps now.
Say hello to everybody.
Ciao. Now, that should work. Greetings, everyone. Hope you're doing well on this Tuesday night. It's getting confusing trying to remember the days as we approach Christmas and stuff like that. I'm still in England. I was meant to be in, I was in this thing. There we go. I was meant to be in Germany now, or Austria. But the DVLA had other plans. That's the place where you get your driving license in the UK. I'm exchanging my South African one for a UK one. And that has resulted in them keeping my passport and resident card for a little bit longer than anticipated. So we get some more live streaming as a result. Right, so tonight, let me just make sure that they've been uploaded. Tonight we have some onboard stories, but mostly I want to focus on doing some laps around Watkins Glen, because tomorrow is a Coach Dave iRacing event in the F1 car at Watkins Glen. What we're kind of doing at the moment is we're experimenting with iRacing events to see if we can do more of them in 2022. The way that it works is we first open up registration to our iRacing subscribers, and then basically whatever's left goes to whoever's interested. And at the moment, not the fullest grids, to be honest, but I'm pretty chilled with that because we always take our time to learn what's working and what's not. And what I can show you tonight is nothing that has been synced. Let me just see here. Video share. Well, there we go. Screenshot share. I knew I'd get confused by this. I have a folder which is being shared between laptop and Windows PC. So I have a video from Le Mans Quali, Michelin Le Mans Cup, which I wanted to show you as a comparison for a GT3 car to a GTE car. So last year I raced there for the first time in a GT3 car in the support race, and this year I did the real race. So I thought it would be cool to share the difference because you guys are always asking me what's the difference between GT3 and GTE. We've done this comparison before. We did it, I believe, at where did we do it again? Barcelona? I can't remember, but we're going to do the comparison again. Sound is a bit low. I get that a lot. So let's see if I can adjust that. But it looks like it's pretty maxed out here. So what's if I do this, if I turn it way down over here, I'm adjusting that one. It actually fell off the other day. This part. Rip. Um, if I adjust that, does anything happen? Because this is about it. I mean, can you just turn it up on the TV? Or your headphones or your phone? Because that's all I got. This thing here is a balancer, but that doesn't work. So, yeah, that's all we got. I just have to like really talk into it or something. Yeah, guys, that's as high as it normally is. In the in Streamlabs, it's set to maximum. It's literally set to max. Like, how's about that? Is that louder by any chance? We do this every time, by the way. This is pretty normal. This is pretty normal. Okay, so anyway, let's pull up the Le Mans Cup. Whoa, that's going to be loud, I think. Okay. All right, so we got Le Mans Cup, which is from last year, and then we'll rewatch the Le Mans from this year. This is 4 minutes, so this is actually the, this is the lap. So someone asked me earlier, can you talk about the difference between a Pirelli and a Michelin? A Pirelli. Yeah, the Michelin tire has a wider scrub radius, which means you can turn more before the tire gives in and loses grip. Whereas the Pirelli has a much smaller scrub radius, so you have to turn less before basically the lateral load of the tire is overwhelmed and you have less grip. And that's actually something that they did in ACC now. That's why a lot of people complain at the moment of understeer in ACC, but it's not. It's just that you're overturning the car because that's the nature of a Pirelli tire. Luckily for us, in ACC, Kunos and Aris have fixed that issue with the slow punctures. Thank the Lord, because that needed to be sorted out. So anyway, all right, I've given it all she's got. Okay, so let's go. Which one is this again? Because I have different layouts for each. Ah, this will work. Or maybe that one. No, none of these will work. None of these are perfect. We'll go with this one. Let's turn up the car volume just slightly. And this was good enough last year. First time I went to Le Mans, and this was good enough for P2, but I should have got pole. I made a mistake, I think, in Ford chicane. Let's see, because I don't actually remember. Now, the key difference between GTE and GT3 is that you have ABS in the GT3, and they do achieve higher top speeds. And this looks, and the GTEs have stickier tires. They're capable of much faster lap times. The Le Mans Cup has a different tire compound to the Le Mans GTE cars, but it's still a Michelin. It's just not a confidential. You can see a lot more going on the wheel. And also in Le Mans Cup, you start with a cold tire. There's no heating of the tire. So it takes you 3 or 4 laps before you get into a pressure window. That's good, but it also means you've worn off the peak of the tire rubber. Like ideally, if you leave the the pits with a warm tire. Then you're maximizing the tire heat and tire temperature when there's still fresh rubber, sort of on the outside of it. The shiny bit that you see in F1, that's like, there's like a little layer, I don't want to exaggerate it, of like peak grip, and you need to get that balance right. And when you wear that away, and when the tire's gone through a bit of a heat cycle, well, it's gotten hot and it's moved around a bit, you lose the peak of the tire, um, which is performance. So something you never experience in sim racing is this 1.5 to 2 second peak that you only get on lap one and maybe lap two. And you definitely don't really experience it on a new cold tire in series like Michelin Cup, because uh, move your on-screen camera. Oh, okay, because it's going to be blocking it. Alrighty. What we'll just do is this. We'll just move me down a little bit, like that. And then we'll hide the alert. There we go. How's that? Okay, so yeah. So what you see here is a tire that's already done 2 or 3 laps, I think, because you don't get much time in a GD3. No, there's no way. So a GD3, just because you have ABS doesn't mean that it's easy to drive. It's actually very difficult to get the maximum speed out of an ABS car. And in GTE and GT3, you have gentleman drivers, and actually gentleman drivers tend to enjoy the GTEs more because they have so much grip from the tire. So no, there is no gentleman's car and pro car. Yes, there's categories, but the top gentleman drivers in the world can drive both very well. Um, and every time a gentleman gets out of a GTE, they really enjoy it. All right, so let's just go back a little bit. Again, you can see a lot more movement on the steering wheel. This was last year with Kessel. Despite that, the car was handling amazingly. Listen to the revs. Keep mind of that. Rui, how you doing, my man? You'll note the top speed. So this is in qualifying mode. I think we'll get to like 292 or something. And the GTs are capable at Le Mans specifically of 300-ish. You see that little purple light? I spoke about this last time. That means that the tire wants to lock, but ABS is kicking in as well. You also have these lights in the GTE, but usually when that thing comes on, it's too late. You're probably about to lock. Yeah, so let's go back a little bit. Whoop. Good rotation on the exit there. Heading down to the second chicane on the Mulsanne straight. Counting the brake boards. I think that was the first one. Feels like you can brake later with the ABS, but it's not actually the case. This LMP3 that's in the way doesn't make it ideal going into the hardest braking points on the track. So something to keep in mind is the onboard camera, just because of the FOV, it makes the cars look further away than they are. Whereas in real life, that car definitely feels closer. It's just the framing of it's just the FOV of the camera. But anyway, now I'm heading into a corner where you can gain a lot of time. In fact, I gained most of my time on this lap going into here. But there's a guy going slowly. You don't know if he's parking it or whatever the situation is. He's already braking. Maybe without him there, I could have gone in second gear. I'm not sure. Not really, though. In cars like in the GT3, you do use first gear a lot because it's actually quite a long gear. Minimizing distance covered. That's an iRacing line. This line you see here is from sim racing. Usually you'd clip it, you drift out a little bit, but here I just stay a bit to the right. You know, cut a meter out here and there, 30 centimeters. Indianapolis. Yeah, the rear camera you rely on lots. So yeah, it's a requirement. And when the rear camera fails, you feel blind. And at night at night it doesn't really work. So you do feel blinded by the thing at night. You use the radar. Porsche curves. Woo! Oh, that's where I lost the. Keep in mind, this is lap. I don't know, lap 4 again. It's a long track though, so that's like lap 8 on a normal track, and you having to push like crazy because this is the lap of your life. You can see I lost the rear there. That's where I lost the time. Now remember, not Ford chicane. Entry to Porsche. I'm just off the line now. I just tried to go in too fast and couldn't commit going in. And that moment that I lost it in Porsche curves, that cost me pole position and allowed me to start my favorite position, which is P2. So there was a yellow flag there, but they didn't seem to count it. Alright, I can't tell you what lap time that was. That 3:55 you see is not accurate. So that's GT3. Notice how busy it is in the GT3. Like when you're really pushing a GT3, and I'm speaking only about Ferrari, I can't speak for the others, you're pretty much on the limit. Okay, with the steering and stuff. Now I hope we still have the Le Mans on board here. I hope we are. Okay, so is it here? Please let it be here. Show me. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Looking at the wrong screen. What track is that? Le Mans. It's Le Mans. How can you ask that? Red flag. Red flag. Okay, is it? Yeah, okay. So now we'll go to, just as a review, just for fun, we'll go to last week, where we looked at the GTE car, which is from Le Mans. And remember, this guy, he compromises us the start of our lap, but whatever. Okay, so we go like that. There we go. Bit of a camera angle, better camera angle. Okay. All right. Oh, that's loud. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So pay attention to the revs. Pay attention to the different gear ratios and the downshift action, and watch the steering wheel. There's much less drama when you are on rails in the GTE car. Slip angles, Ulti, exactly. First gear in the GT3 is longer. Well, the Ferrari generally has a long first gear. It's almost like gear 1.5. It's not just a pull away gear. We use first gear quite a lot in both cars. Yeah, Lamar is super challenging. Notice how the car there's so much less drama. It's not easy to be fast in a GTE. It's just the way you get the lap time is so different. Diogo, yes, I can maybe give you guys a little demo later, but we've added the ability to have console events, Xbox, PlayStation events. This corner here is the biggest difference between a GTE and GT3, because the GT3 you just slam on the brakes, rely on ABS, you have to time the braking perfectly, but you're not so concerned about locking. Whereas at Mulsanne that we just went through in the GTE, if you lock, you go into the wall. So no, this is not qualifying. This is not qualifying. They're different tires, yes, but also it's different cars. The main thing that you're going to take away from this is the hand movements, but the way that the cars feel is actually very different, despite them being pretty similar as cars technically. I mean, if you ask an engineer why do they feel so different, they can't say, oh, it's because of this one thing. That's what I should have done in the GT3 lap. The braking technique is completely different between the two. Completely different. Alrighty. That's the comparison. But I have one more thing. This is not it's not GT3 stuff at all. Oh, come on, close. God damn it. All right. The last thing I wanted to show you, you really need to be gentle on the brake pedal in the GTE. No, I mean, the first push is aggressive. Like you brake hard, but you come off very like gently. Whereas a GT3, you can hold maximum brake force for longer. Yeah. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to get used to the two different cars. Last year, I raced in ELMS and Michelin Le Mans Cup on the same weekend, which meant I was doing GT3 and GTE at the same time. Well, one after the other. And every time you got out of the GT3 specifically and back into the GTE, 2 or 3 laps to adjust, because purely linked to the braking technique. With the GT3, you brake into the corner. The GTE, you brake in a straight line. So when braking with the GDE, is it like doing an emergency stop? No, I mean, you always have to modulate. It all depends. For a heavy braking zone, you brake very hard and then bleed off quicker than you would brake. You bleed off quicker in a GTE than when you bleed off in a GT3. That's the easiest way to put it. Okay, let me see if I can find the other one that I wanted to show you. This is just while I was trying to find these videos, I found a little something something from Nürburgring. Oh no, did it work? Oh shit. I had a feeling that was going to happen. The green livery? Yeah. One sec. Okay, I can't show you the VLN one because the sync didn't work. So we have to skip that one. Do you have a coast in the GT3? The GT3 you don't have to do as much fuel saving. In the GTE, you're often doing fuel saving. So in fact, I, I think every single ELMS race I did this year involved lifting and coasting. You want to see this green livery? There it is. Is there a better? No. Yeah, that's the 2019 Rinaldi, the Grinaldi. I missed that livery. That's my favorite Ferrari livery. This year's one in the GT World Challenge was pretty cool, but I mean, who's brave enough to have a green Ferrari? Only Michele Rinaldi. What a legend. Cole, it's all real life. Which braking technique suits your style? I don't know. I mean, I enjoy driving the GTE more, but that's just because it's so rewarding. All right, let's start up iRacing because we're going to do some laps in there. Oh shit. Boom. Okay. In a qualifying lap, do you ever coast mid-apex? In a qualifying lap, you do whatever's ever quickest. The aim in a quali lap is to no, no. The aim in racing is to get to 100% throttle as quickly as you can. And that means you have to get your rotation done, especially in a GT car. Not so much, it seems, in F1, but in a GT car, you got to get the rotation done as quickly as possible. And sometimes that means coasting, sometimes it means trail braking to the apex, but you got to get that thing straight as soon as you can so you can get to full throttle. Do I have a wizard on the door? Yes. Yes. Because someone used to call me the wizard. Nick Foster. Okay, create a race. No, not a race. Test drive. Okay, so now you guys are just going to join me for a little bit of lappage around Watkins Glen because I just want to prepare for tomorrow. I really don't feel like embarrassing myself. Classic boot or is it just boot? It's boot. Track conditions I'm not too concerned about, and time of day also not too concerned about because I don't know what Michael Hamlet's going to set this thing to. The GTE rotates more easily if you don't go too fast into the corner, which means if you don't brake like an idiot. And braking like an idiot in the GTEs is very easy to do because you jump on the brakes and you realize you're about to lock the brakes. So you start to come off the brakes, but you haven't slowed down enough for the corner, and that compromises your entry speed in that you're going in way too quick. You miss the apex, then the car won't rotate. So the artist is not the initial jump on the brakes, it's from just after the initial braking to like the to 20%. So from like 95% pressure to 20% pressure. You got to make sure that you get that phase done quickly because if you hold on too long, eventually you're going to have to turn that steering wheel, and when you turn the steering wheel, you're going to lock. Although the Michelin Confidential that we use at Lamar doesn't lock nearly as easy. You can actually add quite a bit of steering angle before it starts to lock. How much does dirty air affect the GT cars? The Ferrari quite a lot because it's sensitive on the nose. I don't think the Sims simulated quite well enough, but I don't know how they could because I can barely explain it to you. So okay, we're going fixed setup. I think Suzuka. Don't worry, I'm going to open it in a second. And we're going to kick things off with a long run. Just move this back so you can see some of the steering wheel. How's that? No, it's a little bit too low, yeah? Alrighty. There's an oak steering through your window. Ulti, you almost got me. Do you recommend use each car's steering lock? I just, whatever's default. That's what I use. I use whatever is default. Okay, so the other thing we have to do here is just get used to doing pit stops again, because there's a pit stop in tomorrow's race. But first, let's do some warming up and stuff. Alrighty. How's the sound oh, almost spilled water on the keyboard. How's the sound balance? Because I turned it way down. Right, so that's a bit loud. That? How are we looking there? GT, whatever series you race in, a GT will have different tires. So, ELMS's Goodyear's, almost got that wrong. WEC has Michelin. Le Mans Cup has Michelin, but like a default compound. Creventic has the Hankook tire, not a good tire. GT World Challenge has the Pirelli. Asian Le Mans has the Michelin. Oh, I forgot to make the halo transparent. And you have to learn how each of them work because they all behave very differently. I explained a little bit of it at the beginning of the stream. Best tire is the Michelin Confidential that you get to use in World Endurance Championship. You have to sign a contract with Michelin before you can use it. I love the sound here. That sound there. Nope. Fit sound. It's this corner here that I have to work on. Our boy James Parker has got it nailed. But I don't know if James is going to be racing tomorrow in the Coach Dave iRacing F1 events. What's your time? I have the best time. Whatever that time is. 13.5 is optimum. But James was doing 13.1s, the bastard. And my best achieved time is 14. Ulti, it's not. It's a what do you call it? A private session. Thanks for the donation, Zach. Legend. Oh. Oh. Okay, let's go into balance mode so I can recharge a bit, or build mode. Oh no, it's stuck now. That's the bummer. It only gives you the opportunity to change it 4 times. Mike, yeah, what's happening, my man? This grip is just insane. If you're part of the CDA Discord and you go to the iRacing announcements, you'll be able to sign up for this race. There's still, I think, a couple of spaces left on the grid. Whoa. If money and fame wasn't a factor, it isn't a factor. There is no money in the level that I race. You get paid, but you still need a normal job, like coaching, or in my case, Coach Dave Academy. Woo! I'm racing the thing that I've always wanted to race, which is Le Mans, or GT class, in a Ferrari as well. So that's the... I use a Thrustmaster TGT wheelbase and a Ferrari SF1000 wheel from Thrustmaster. I'm gonna ask Hamster to fix the setup actually. Hamster is Michael Hamlet, the guy who organizes all the SimGrid races. Don't turn in without DRS, peeps. I can tell you now, if we don't use fixed setup, I'm just gonna go with the Suzuka setup, which is available in the game. Woo! I'm training for the race now. I did a quali lap at the beginning of the run just to give me something to chase, but now I'm just doing race run. Strategy, I'm not sure. We're probably going to have to sort that out tonight. Oh, off track, damn it. I'm not sure if the Silverstone setup is better suited. I haven't tried it, to be honest, so I don't remember trying it. Geez, when the thing deploys, it really does move. You can really tell. I think that's also... I'm not sure if the setups actually affect the deployment as well, to be honest. Has anyone done enough homework on that yet? Don't touch the wall. Spain setup. Well, let's try all of them. We try all of them. Barcelona. I mean, look, Barcelona is a great default because it's got all kinds of corners in there. It's a baseline setup for most tracks, to be honest. Oh, I turn off the DRS before turning in. I've had too many crashes there with it open, so I press it just before I turn in, but I can't take it flat. I haven't found the line there which makes it go, which allows me to go flat. Maybe the high downforce will help us in this middle sector. Let's see. We're going to have a perfect delta now to check. Whoa! I think they don't allow us to paint the car because Mercedes like, we'll let you use the car in the game, but no livery changes. We'll just stay in balance mode, by the way. So, more understeer for sure. Delta doesn't look to be losing too much in terms of having high downforce. Okay, there's, you can feel the understeer there. Don't know, the setup's not so bad, but it has got understeer. So I think that later in the stint, you may pay the price with the Barcelona setup. It does feel very neutral though. I don't know if there's any damage, to be honest, on the floor. It was almost flat. I still had to do a lift. God, so fast! After this, we're going to try the Silverstone setup. But this feels pretty good, to be honest. And then we're going to go back to the Suzuka setup, just to confirm that it's not all up in here. Yeah, I can't take it flat. Were you guys taking it flat? By the way. There's a high downforce, there's a baseline. Hungaroring? No, because Hungaroring there's a lot of heavy braking. You see, the other thing with Barcelona, they only heavily brake for one corner. Silverstone, same. Yeah, let's try Silverstone. Ah, Spa. No, Spa has to be it. This has to be the one. Okay, it's Mad Sim Racing. How you doing, bro? Is saying that he wasn't flat in the chicane. So if he's not flat in the chicane, I ain't going flat in the chicane. Spa is shit here. Okay, well, let's see. I need to learn for myself. I have to experience it myself. But I mean, Barcelona and Silverstone were pretty much on par with the Suzuka laps. I mean, Barcelona was on par with the Suzuka lap. We're going to try Silverstone next. But let's see if the Spa one helps. I've probably already used too much of the tire for a slowdown to even make any difference. So a little tip that I've learned from the charging element. If you ride it at low revs, you're going to use the battery because the battery is a torque filler. Okay. If you keep the engine in high revs, then the battery recharges. This is on your slowdown, your regen laps, just so you know. Specifically if you're running in balance mode. Otherwise, just turn it to no deploy, and then it doesn't matter. The battery will just recharge on its own. Okay, so that has less downforce on entry compared to Barcelona, less understeer, and you can see here that we're gaining on the tops on the straights. Woo! That was driver though. I found a better line, and now I'm running wide. less traction. That is for sure. I think it's also because Spa is such a smooth track and this is not. Okay, so I think that was me, as opposed to the setup just giving me not what I wanted it. I think I just wasn't focused there. So we have to give this setup one more go before we go to the Silverstone one. I think my best lap here, that 14 whatever, was set on the Silverstone quali one. There is more high-speed understeer, but I can maybe tweak that with a diff setting. So if I increase engine braking, like so, no, which one is it again? It's this one. There we go. It's easier to go through the chicane. No, there is more understeer here. There's definitely more understeer here. Let's decrease the diff on the mid. It's the first time I've had to go front with the brake balance actually. Look at that understeer! Woo! Don't touch the grass in this car. Okay. Can confirm. Not the Spa setup. I don't want to change the setups too much. I will literally fuck it up. So let's just go find the best default and work our way from there. Spielberg won't work because that's more designed for heavy braking. It's got to be between Spa and Suzuka and Barcelona. No, not Spa. It's got to be between Silverstone, Suzuka, and Barcelona. One of those is going to be the setup that we're going to use. And then we'll just tweak the weights. I mean the fuel. And then we have a go. Yeah, but JK, you got to find it out for yourself. It's got to Why do I have such little fuel? No, it's wrong. It's wrong. Well, funny enough, with the Spa setup, I could actually feel it touch the ground more. So, that's weird. By the way, in Spa, in real life, it's not necessarily a case of raising the ride heights. It's more about compression and controlling the body with the springs and the dampers and the packers and all of that stuff and bump stops that will help you reduce that the floor touching in Eau Rouge. It's not as clear cut as just raising ride height in real life. So it could be the case here. Something with the bump stops or whatever. I don't know. I don't even go close to the setups of this car because I will just mess it up. I did 3 races in a Formula car. It was like a hybrid between a Formula Volkswagen, Formula Renault and something with more power. It was actually had a Formula BMW chassis, I think. Okay, let's go. Okay, can confirm Silverstone setup is comfortably the quickest. Comfortably. Spa was definitely the hardest of them to achieve lap time. Barcelona felt neutral, but it didn't produce this lap time. Oh. When a W12 setup's coming out, I actually want to share an idea with you guys. Because I don't just want anyone to make the W12 setups. I actually want to get a Formula 1 driver to do it. In fact, I want to get a Formula 1 simulator driver to do it specifically. And I know a few of them. I've got to convince one of them. Because I don't want just Joe Bob down the road to make these setups. I want there to be some kind of experience tied behind it. We already have two F1 engineers who work at Coach Dave. Well, they're engineers that work at F1 teams, and I know that one of them worked on chassis. The other was more strategy, but one of them works on chassis. So we have someone at Coach Dave who has the knowledge to at least try and apply real world thinking to our F1 setups. But I want to get an F1 simulator driver to do the driving part. So I do have someone in mind, but they're not quite ready yet to help, if you will. But yeah, I also, with the F1 setups, there has to be a series to race them in. You can't just make random ones. We already tried that with the first time we released the iRacing setups. We tried that, and it didn't work. Okay, so basically you have to go season to season. All right. Kimmy would rather die. Anyway, I can't afford Kimmy. Imagine, imagine you got Kimmy to do these setups. That would be hilarious. Okay, a couple of quali runs. Let's see if we can get it that 13-1 that James Parker got. Yes, there is the GP series, but I don't have my F1 driver available, so it can't be me, that's for sure. I'm too busy running the business, and I'm not fast enough in the Sims. Geez, if you really crank up the headphone volume, the sounds from the car are actually pretty impressive. But then you can just get tinnitus, which I got from Gran Turismo for a while. So I started to play Gran Turismo like, when you on your TV sometimes, like if you like volume, let's just say number 5 is sound and it's a bit too loud, and then you go to 4 and it just goes mute. Like that's what I was doing with GT Sport to just avoid the waking up with the ringing ears. Like barely had the sound on. We go again. What is 1.8 of ACC like? It's good. It feels good. Feels good. Favorite Kimi quotes? I don't have one. I wasn't a big Kimi. I like Kimi, but he wasn't my go-to. My go-to is Alonso. one of my best friends is also best friend of my brother. He likes Kimi so much that we've called him Kimi for like 12 of, as long as Kimi's been in F1. Our friend Vanna has been called Kimi. He's Kimi on my phone and everything. So when I'm at a karting track and Vanna phones me, it says Kimi Räikkönen on the call ID, and I always show the young kids. I'm like, look who's phoning me, it's Kimi Räikkönen, and they lose their minds. It's a party trick. I mean, version 1.8 on console will feel very different to the PC. That seems to be the trend so far. For those of you who have driven around here in the F1 car, dear viewers, chat, whatever you want to refer to yourselves as, what's your best lap time? Off track, shit. I released the DRS too late. This is the only frustrating thing with this car, and it must be worse in real life, but it's the first lap for me at least which gives me the best lap. My optimum has gone up because I'm in the session best lap. If I go to all-time best lap, it's still 13.5. But I'm in session best lap. Oh! Okay, it's my best lap ever. Let's try a no deploy lap and build up the battery. Lap wasn't bad, but it's still half a second off what my boy JP is capable of, so... JP and I were in the same session together, so... But James is the head of Coach Dave's setups. Like, it's his department. And there's a reason for that. He's one of the fastest sim drivers I've ever seen in my life, so... Okay, let's see what we can do with 60% deployment. Considering we had no deployment there, and we lost 2 or 3 tenths on the final corner, or maybe 2 tenths. So a 13.8 is possible, for me at least. I mean, as a lap to complete, not my optimum. Optimum's a different story. To achieve optimum is always a different story. Oh no! Okay, that somehow worked. Stay in the track. That's the first time we got a 1x there. Oh, damn it. And we go again. Just so we can say that we are able to. Oh, shit, what am I doing here? Okay. Yeah, no problem, Pedro. It's the same for all of us. Once you see someone, how like watching Jimmy Broadbent at the Nordschleife, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, how the hell? Um, so it showed me what the car is capable of in terms of carrying corner speed. And of all people, it was Jimmy Broadbent who showed me how to do that just by watching him on stream. I think his lap around Nordschleife is insane. I'm done. Okay, last thing to test. Well, being able to do a lap like that in the session tomorrow, which won't be easy. I'm using the Silverstone one. Okay, so the way that you can't really see this. I want to show you guys. But like when I moved, I wanted to use it as an opportunity. Oh damn. No, that's not going to work. There we go. Is that the one? Yes. You can see that the steering base is like right up against the screen almost, centered, so that when I do GT racing, the dashboard is basically in line with the correct stuff, and um, so that the whole screen is not too far away, everything's centered, the dashboard is in the correct place, and now I hide the steering wheel much more frequently than what I used to, uh, because I've found it even more off-putting. Even now, showing the what have I done? Have I broken my camera layout? Oh, I'm using the wrong overlay. I should be using this one. That's the one I should have been using. Oops. Unless I forgot to change it. Let's go to this one. Anyway, as a result, why is it not showing anymore? I think I have to do screen share. There we go. Okay. As a result, I can't actually see what the hell's going on down here. So I want to Let's go back to the lap. I think it's this lap. What lap is that? 26. Yeah. So it's started so we can analyze. David, you genius. My God. Don't hire me to be a production manager. Oh my God. This car is absolutely mental. To think I'm still 4/10 off Jimmer. That chicane is mental. I want to see it one more time, honestly. My God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, so last thing we're going to try now is just getting used to doing pit stops again. I haven't done that in an age. I don't even remember how to do it. Ulti, yours is stuck in the post somewhere, bro. Mine came in like 2 days. But that's because the depot is in England, my man. So it's print on demand. Oh my God, what have I done here with the freaking camera? That's not working, is it? Okay. Silverstone GPE, mediums. All I'm getting used to now, peeps, is just changing the settings while I'm driving because all the pit stop stuff. Who here can coach me on doing that? I haven't done an iRacing race which involves pit stops in a very long time. So now we're just going to do out and in laps, which is all part of the preparation. SimGrid shirts and hats at the moment are they're not available. I'm just order them custom on my own via Printful, but I'm going to start to link them to the Coach Dave store soon. So nailed it, just absolutely nailed the outlap. So now we just got out and in. Yeah, I definitely have to get used to. How do I do the refueling? Like, I can't actually put any fuel in. You can't. Oh, okay. Is that normal for this car? Out of interest? Okay. I can't. The last time I did a proper iRacing race was with Super GT. But then, how does it get refueled? Oh yeah, it doesn't allow refueling, of course. Thanks, guys. But then, will 60 laps get us to the end? 60 liters. Michael Hamlet, have you checked this? Of course there's no refueling. Jesus, what an idiot. We may have to adjust the laps tomorrow. Unless we implement 60 laps, but that's part of the skill. What do you think about that? Okay, so that's the pit line. Luckily I tested these things. My camera's gone all wobbly. Yeah, go away. I'm not going to use you yet, buddy. We're just doing it out and in, out and in. Freewheeling for 4 laps isn't a skill. Yeah, but you know, you can do some lift and coast. That's a skill. Is it too much? Like in an F1 race where everyone's trying to survive. Maybe it's too much. Easy flats. I know one thing for sure, the softs won't last. So we're going to have to... I don't know what the rules are in terms of having to change compounds. Where? Here, so here's one. That's one area. And you know, lifting and coasting will bring the aliens much closer to the peasants amongst us in terms of lap time. So there are areas on the track where you can save fuel. Yeah, speeding there. Okay, so you have to use 2 different compounds. Only clutching in does. Oh my god. That's insane. So the only way to lift and coast in this game is to stick the clutch in. Yeah. How do you guys call this a simulator? It's not. So they do this. They coast on the clutch. Weird. Now the question is, do I have to go and enter within these yellow lines? That was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. Okay, so it's more effective to use the clutch. What? Okay, no, it's fine. If that's the rules of the games, that's fine. We're going to do another out and in, and then we're going to actually do a box. My team are like, bro, can you fucking stop? Alti, I didn't actually change anything, my man. It's the same settings and everything compared to last time. Could be the room that I'm in, because I'm no longer against a wall. Although there is a wall right behind me. I mean, not behind me, behind you guys. Biggest difference between F1 and GT cars? I haven't driven an F1 car, so I can't tell you. But conceptually, an F1 car, you carry speed through the corner, whereas a GT car, you minimize your apex speed to maximize rotation, which is not as clear cut as it sounds. Nailed it. Steering with mirrors. Clutch in to save fuel. Guys, if you put the clutch in, the car goes into idle. Whereas if you just lift, there's no fuel being sucked into the engine. I mean in real life. Clearly in the game it doesn't work that way. Oh, brakes are very good. Okay, gotta do that again. I also have to get used to the pit exit line. Okay, let's see what hards are like. In ELMS we have soft, medium, hard, but we never use the soft or the hard. Oh shit, that was too quick. Damn it. Okay, let's try get this box and stop correct, huh? No? Oh, okay. Whoa. Oh yeah, I'm not questioning the legitimacy of your claims around putting the clutch in, not at all. I'm just saying, you know, everyone tells you that iRacing is the best sim, but that's not a sim. That's not a real thing. I definitely believe you that putting the clutch in iRacing results in fuel saving. I don't question that at all. I think they do it in NASCAR actually, in real life. Ulti, it's December, my man. They drafted in the Haas pit stop crew. The big dogs are at home on a much needed holiday. Send it. Nailed it. Yeah, NASCAR, I mean, iRacing was originally for NASCAR and then they expanded it. I think it's a very old game engine though. I'll be very curious. Probably a lot has changed, to be fair. Like the code base from here, the only thing left is the graphics. I need to get that better. I mean, originally, yes, designed for NASCAR, but I mean, this game is so much more than NASCAR now. It's not going to, I mean, we're driving a Formula One car, which in my head feels realistic, even though it's probably not. But it handles like it looks on TV, aka absolutely mental. Actually gives me a massive amount of appreciation for the top F1 drivers, the guys who are able to put a lap together in these cars every single time. It really impresses me. Yeah, the F1 game is an arcade though. They're openly. There's nothing on the F1 game which says real driving simulator. Nor is there a rabid fan base of people saying that that is a real driving simulator. Gran Turismo, on the other hand, different story. Fair enough. Okay, let's try and nail the stop. Still not good enough. Yeah, I'm also hoping for the F1 drivers to tell us how far away this is. Like a Lando or Max. They'll be able to tell. Sausage curbs in real life are incredibly aggressive. They're, in a lot of sims, they haven't quite nailed that. ACC, I think, gets it the closest. When you touch a sausage curb in real life, it feels like you're going to launch to Mars and destroy the chassis, honestly. Come on, boys. I think we're done now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Drive through for that one. Okay. The only thing left now is to hope that we can do a long run. But the long run is a question of, I don't know, don't use the curbs. So let's try it here. Because it's risky if I use those curbs there throughout the whole race, I think. I mean risky in terms of crashing. Not in terms of damaging the car. Just bottoming out too much when I'm not paying attention. Oh yeah, practice start, thank you. I suppose that if I do it like that, it is pretty safe if I ride the curb like that. The challenge in this race is going to be about managing the fronts, because you don't want to understeer. You want the thing to rotate like you did. I'll do a practice start in a sec, or a few of them. Oh shit. Reading comments and braking for turn 1. Let's not do that again. Doc, I mix it up these days. For about... I've been like mixing it between ACC, iRacing, sometimes Gran Turismo. At the moment my PlayStation's not hooked up to the sim, so no Gran Turismo at the moment. But yeah, I mix it up these days. I'm highly addicted to the F1 car in iRacing. I play this thing for fun all the time at the moment. Woo! I spend hours in the sim on my own with this car. See you, Ulti. Thank you, Takumi. Hope you're well, my man. Okay, so Pedro's saying if you have a dual clutch setup, which I do, set the bite point to 65 and keep the revs higher than 7,200. Shit, son! How the hell am I going to do that? Where do I set that? I think we're going to need a new chassis. Where do you set that, guys? Oh, oh, you mean like, do you mean in the steering wheel settings? Okay, no, yeah, I don't think we can do that. Because what is 65? Okay, okay, understood. 65 is a Fanatec number. Yeah, I don't use Fanatec. I can have a second clutch. However, the problem with the second clutch is, what is it, David? Let me just double check that that thing's assigned. Second clutch, boom, okay. Oh, visor tear off, we'll make it the oil button. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's correct. Without the clutch, put it in first gear, hold brake full, little throttle, okay. Let's try that. So it's got like an auto clutch. Oh, that's going up a gear. No, no. I was definitely not assigning the right thing. Let me just fix that before that becomes a bug later on. Second clutch. That's the one. You see that like play there? We need a little bit of, we need to adjust that little bit there because now you'll see, boom, okay. You see there's a little, you can't, probably won't see it on stream, but there's no dead zone there. And I don't know where to find clutch dead zone in the settings. Am I blind? I'm not blind. So now how do I clear this bad boy? Reset. Done. Okay, full brake, full throttle, left brake. Okay. I just need to find a straight piece of road, which isn't the start finish. Oh, this will be fine. So you see there, why is the brake hanging on? Think there's something wrong here, peeps? Is the clutch dead? Okay. That means I've murdered the clutch. Okay. Edge feels good. That was weird. Did I roast the clutch there? Is that what happened? I must have roasted the clutch, yeah? I wasn't using the clutch. It was just a test. Okay. Full brake, 10% throttle. Okay. Yeah, I got it. I got it. I was just testing the clutch. I got it. 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 So like tiny brake. It's not working. But guys, when I've done the daily racing in the F1, okay, and I can clearly see that a lot of guys are doing what you're telling me. All right, hold the brake, just a touch. I'm not even touching the brake right now, by the way. That's me with no brake on. Okay, so when I do daily racing, I use the clutch, and I smoke people off the line all the time. So maybe your approach is wrong. No? Yeah, I'm keeping it on, guys. Yeah. Yeah, full brake. Full brake. It's on. Okay, cool. No, yes. No. Turn left, right? Yeah, right. Oh, I must turn right? No, left, right? No, left, right? I must turn right? Okay, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Okay, that's it. We're ready now. We're ready now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go watch TV now. Actually, let's have a quick chat on that. What games are you playing on console? So, yeah, now I understand. What games are you guys playing on console? I just beat Ghosts of Tsushima. There's basically nothing left for me to do in the game. 65 hours in, nothing left. And I want to play another game like Ghosts of Tsushima. I see a lot of people are talking about Valhalla. Is that worth playing? 3, 2, 1, go. Anybody? Do any of you play console games? Doesn't seem like it. None of you play console games. Ghost of Tsushima is unreal. Ghost of Tsushima. Unreal. I tried the Star Wars one. Oh yeah, God of War. But God of War is a PS4 game. It hasn't has it been remastered for PS5? The Star Wars game is a bit too linear for me. It's like run, cut people, there's a start point, there's an end point. I need like a open world game. Tsushima, Valhalla, God of War is one. What's the one where she kills the robots? Horizon, Forbidden West? No, that's the new one that's coming. Red Redemption. Yes. Okay, Red Redemption. I'm gonna give that one a go. Yes, I know. With um, God of War, but have you seen the graphics of Ghost of Tsushima in PS5? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. This is one of my concerns with Gran Turismo 7, by the way, is it doesn't look spectacular. Let's actually pull that up. So let me just quit here. Like when I watch the Gran Turismo 7 trailers, and if anyone's been following me for a long enough time, you'll know that for me, Gran Turismo is where it's at, basically. Oh my God. So Gran Turismo 7. You know, they're probably gonna like demonetize this thing. How's the sound there? No, but they had like a proper. Oh shit, no. There we go. This one here. How's the sound there? Okay. So if you look at these graphics here, and this could be from, let me go with this one here. This could be from the PS4, but I don't think it is. This probably won't even load. To be honest, though, I'm happy with the UI of Gran Turismo. I think that the UI should not be changed. It has one of the best racing game UIs, I think, and I'm happy with the UI that you're using here. It's also very Japanese. They spend ages refining this stuff. All right. So the sound feels the same. Disclaimer, massive, massive Gran Turismo fan. Borderline Gran Turismo apologist. Still makes me concerned here. No, ACC does not have the best UI. I'm sorry. Bless ACC. Love them to death. But if there's one thing that I would approve in ACC, it's the UI. Anyway, this is much cleaner. I mean, when you look at this, it just looks like a PlayStation game. If you've played Ghost of Tsushima and you see the sunsets and the way that the environment reacts to the person running through the fields and stuff, it looks phenomenal. I'm not saying it looks real. Of course it doesn't, but it definitely looks better than this. Those trees look like they're sprites. In Ghost of Tsushima, the trees are not sprites. Those things move and interact with the wind and everything. They interact with you as you go past them. We've got a bit of sun and reflection and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm very happy that this track is back in the game. Bit bleak about this hairpin at the end, but it did need an overtaking spot. I mean, those sausages there, I'm telling you now, you can ride the crap out of them. Like we just went through. So like we got some cool reflections there. But how much of this is being compromised for PS4? Dev time obviously went to physics and not trees. No, I know that. And, you know, but the physics look and sound very similar. Although I never had a problem with the physics of Gran Turismo. I want to make that very clear. My thing with Gran Turismo, why do you use Gran Turismo? Because it understeers when it should, oversteers when it should, feels good on braking, feels good on power. It feels like it should. Is it as granular as maybe ACC? Yeah, but that was on PlayStation 4. Are we witnessing here an ups? Is this PS4 Pro graphics or is this PS5? I think it's PS5 because you can see the reflections on the cars with the sun. Aston sounds good. Unmistakably Gran Turismo though. GT needs a better tire model. It needs a better tire wearing model. But I think they make that linear on purpose. It's pretty linear, the tire wear. I don't think they're changing that, by the way. GT Sport was a laboratory. GT Sport is a laboratory for GT7. So a lot of what you experience in GT Sport, you will experience in GT7. Yes, I've tried the Matrix demo. I only played 10 minutes of it though. I hope. Oh, okay, look, there's something there. If you look here, this thing's picking up light pretty well actually. The steering wheel. Watch here. The steering wheel here. Just watch the bottom part of the steering wheel. It's picking up reflections and stuff and so on. Whoa, a little bit of wheel spin there. Easy, Tiger. This part here looks really cool. This will be really cool in real life. Oof. Best creators of fantasy tracks bar none. Gran Turismo. No one comes close to Gran Turismo's fantasy tracks. Errol, probably because they're prioritizing your car over your competitors' cars. Ray tracing won't be active in races. Oh, okay, that's a bummer. I think that's a performance limitation of the PS5, though, to be honest. The steering wheel indicator. I'm not following what the steering wheel indicator is. Do the marbles affect performance? We don't know. We know nothing. We know nothing. Why is GT7 a PS4 game? Well, the PS5 version will look better. I mean, buying an entire console based on one game is high risk, by the way. But I'll let you guess why they're making it for PS4. 10, 9, 8. It's because there's still millions of people on a PS4. So this opens up the market to them. Yeah, force feedback in Gran Turismo is some of the best I felt. Definitely better than iRacing, which is abysmal. iRacing is heavy steering. It has heavy steering, but the force feedback is random. Okay, so that's Gran Turismo. I hope we have a good game on our hands. Probably was in development for the PS4. Well, guys, the culture of the way that the Japanese do things, they take their time. That's what, do you really think that this thing's being released in Feb or March as they promise? I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical about that. Well, Ian, I can tell you now that the haptic feedback on a PlayStation 5 remote is it's not a gimmick. It's very good. It's very useful. It's not a gimmick. So, if you play Gran Turismo with a remote, you'll have a much better experience with the remote in GT7. I can tell you now, they've probably mapped the ABS to the brake as well, so it'll look really cool. All right. I'm hoping that Gran Turismo 7 is going to be epic, and I hope we can do some streams on it. I wanted to show you the SimGrid manual upload stuff, but manual upload, I mean the console competition stuff, because now we're going to start to release the ability for you to create leagues with F1 2021, with Gran Turismo, Project Cars, Dirt Rally, ACC console. All that stuff is coming now to SimGrid over the next sort of month and a half. But I'll see if I can give you a demo of that tomorrow. It's the innovation is, I mean, we're not automatically pulling in results. It's a manual upload thing, but the way that it works is pretty cool. All right. I'll show you that tomorrow because tomorrow I'm going to live stream this Watkins Glen race. Let's see if my practice tonight actually helped. But until then, I'm going to go watch some TV and chill out. So thank you very much for watching. And until tomorrow, catch you on the next lap.